Welcome to this week's episode of eThekwini Matters. My name is Zimbili Mazibuko, your host. Today we focus on how the city is developing sports, more especially for the youth in rural areas and townships. In studio, we are honored to have the Acting Deputy Head of Sports Development and Recreation, Bongiwe Majola, to talk to us about this. Bongiwe, welcome to eThekwini Matters.
Hello. Thank you, Zimbili.
It's good to have you today in studio. Can you please enlighten us about your sports development and recreation unit?
Okay, thank you, Zimbili. I always get excited if I'm given this opportunity to come and speak about our programs as sports department, because at least by that we are able to send messages to our communities, because we deal mostly with communities and we want to engage them more and more. We need more participation. Yes. So sports development and recreation department is a department under Parks, Recreation and Culture unit. I'm sure you're aware of that. Yes. And we are mainly focusing on health and well-being of citizens. So what we do as the department is to engage them to participate in sports. We start from early ages because we have programs that engage kids that are in grade 3, grade 4. So we start from very early ages and up to the age of 19. Because if you see most of our programs, we are focusing on youth. And what we do, we have 3 pillars. So as sports department, we want to ensure that eThekwini municipality is an active city. By that, we have a number of programs that are under that pillar. One of those programs will be your aerobics. I can name few, but we just want to make sure that we are an active city. That includes people that are living with disabilities. That includes our senior citizens, and it includes everybody. That's what I'm trying to say. And second to that, we want to make sure that we are a winning city. I'm sure you are aware that we've been participating in a number of programs like your Salka games, tournaments, and we've been winning because as a department, that's what we are always aiming to achieve. We want to make sure that eThekwini is a winning city. And by that, we have sports officers in the office. We have senior sports officers that are there to ensure that that is being achieved in the office. And we normally do not want to limit ourselves. So what we do is we have sports officers in all areas of eThekwini by district, from District 1 to District 10. So you would have your sports officer who is responsible for District 1. Anything that has to do with sport in that district, that sports officer will be responsible for that area. So what they do is, if the community then decides that they want to engage in netball, so the sports officer responsible for that area will just need to ensure that they have a proper facility. If they don't have a proper facility, they engage with the nearest facility to make sure that they access that facility. So what we do also is to provide them with equipment, because that's what we normally find in most areas, especially in the disadvantaged areas, rural areas. They don't have equipment. They do want to participate in sports, but they don't have equipment. So we do that so that we make sure that we are a winning city. Kids don't come to us and say, hey, we wanted to participate in this tournament, but we are not well trained. We don't have coaches and all of that. So we try by all means to make sure that we achieve that as a department. And we are also enablers. So what I say about enablers, we're saying that we have volunteers in we have ward structures, we have people who are engaged in sports. So we want to increase their participation. We want to work with UKZN and say, hey, you have students that are doing sports here. So can we have them when we have our tournament to come and assist us? Because there's a lot. We have a lot that we can use them for. So that's what we mean by that. So sport department wants to increase participation, especially in what we are trying to focus on mostly now in rural areas, because you find that in rural areas, that's where things are lacking in terms of service delivery and things going there. So we try by all means, even if we have to go and get them, transport them, and we go all out to include them.
Now let's talk about the Learn to Swim program. It sounds very interesting, especially for kids in most townships.
Yeah, it's one of my, I love the program. The reason why I have passion for that program mostly is that at least we are now achieving this issue of drowning. Kids are drowning a lot, and I've also experienced that when I was growing up, because I'm not water safe. I'm sorry to say, I'm not water safe. But we can't be in this generation have kids that are not water safe, while eThekwini municipality has so many pools around townships. So what we have then discovered is that kids around grade 3 to grade 4, they drown a lot, because eThekwini municipality is now increasing the number of facilities that we have in our communities. So kids will come back from school without their parents knowing, then they go to the pool without anybody knowing, and then they will drown because they are not water safe, they are not taught. So what we then did was to look at the stats, because if you look at the stats, then you realize that kids from grade 3 to grade 4, they are drowning a lot because, well, they're naughty. They want to go to the pool without telling anybody, but they are not water safe. So we are focusing on that now. But most importantly, with this program in particular, we are partnering with education, because now these kids, most of the time they are in school. So we are partnering with education and KZN Aquatics, so that we are able to get them when we need to take them and get them for trainings. And we have KZN Aquatics who's assisting us, because with this particular program, you can't just ask anybody to train the kids. You need people that are experienced in case something happens in that pool. You need someone that that kids are safe, and we can't risk with kids of that age.
You recently hosted the Disability Extravaganza Games.
Yes.
Tell us more about that. How was it? How did it go?
That was one of the biggest programs we've hosted so far. When it comes to our people living with disability, it was a very successful program. But our aim mostly is that as sports, we want to include everybody. We want to give out the messages to the communities that sports does not say, no, we want you to be from this area, from this age, coming from this school, you must be fit, you must be this, and it includes everybody. So what we are also trying to achieve as the department, working with Parks, Leisure and Cemeteries, I'm sure you are aware, because we are using their facilities a lot. What we are trying to achieve is that we want their facilities to be friendly, user-friendly for our people living with disability. So we are trying to achieve that, and while doing that, we are trying to encourage them by doing events, programs of the nature that we just had, so that they can see that we care for them. So we have someone in the office who's responsible for people living with disability. So what she has done now is to set aside a budget just for them, just to ensure that at least they are being taken care of. And as you all know, the sport department has 16 sports codes, and we are trying to rope in another one now. So what we are trying to do in regards to the people living with disability is to at least include them in majority of the sports codes. There are some that we are still struggling because of the nature of that particular sports code.
Yes.
But obviously, when as time goes, we will find a way, because we want them to participate in all our sports codes.
Now, Bongiwe, there's also the safeguarding in sports workshops.
Yeah.
What are those trainings for?
Those trainings are very necessary, and I'm just glad that we decided this year to focus on it, and we are just saying we can't do without it, because what we are saying is we don't want you to be in contact with our child without getting this training. We don't know you, we don't know your background, and with things are happening around, you can already see that kids are now not happy with being spoken to in a different way. They don't want you to touch them. They don't want you to, there are so many things that has to do with talking to kids these days. So now we are getting people to to train our coaches and our administrators to tell them, hey, there's particular ways that you can't just speak to a child now, because it can be taken as an offense. So we are doing that. We are assisting them. But what I like mostly, I always say, and obviously they will laugh at me, what I like mostly about this particular program is that after the program, we are then saying, okay, you've completed our course. At least you understand now what you need if you need to be in contact with our athletes. But let's check, have you had any criminal offenses?
Yes.
Can you have your ID? We go and check them. When we find out that we have done something, can be anything. If we see that it's something that is sensitive to us and we can't allow you to be in part of sports, we can't compromise with our kids.
Now let's move on to the Salga Games.
Yeah.
I mean, we always participate in the Salga Games as a city. So what plans do we have for the year 2025?
Let me say, we always participate and we always win.
Yeah, true that.
I was saying last year, maybe you just need to change it. It's no longer, it should be Salga Games, it should be Salga eThekwini Winners Game. Because we are always winning. But it comes back to what I've been saying from when I started, that as the department, we have a number of programs that we are engaging ourselves into. Our aim mostly is to ensure that we are a winning city. That's the main aim. So what we do now with this particular program, Salga Games, so we would have what we call eThekwini Games. We started what we call eThekwini Games so that we have pre-Salga Games. So we will go to all 111 wards. We will start with 2 codes. We will have football and netball competitions. And after that, and the reason why we are just doing those 2 particular codes is not because we don't have capacity to do other codes, but we are thinking, in other words, because of lack of facilities, some other words, they don't have swimming pools and all of that. So we don't want to compromise them, because if they don't have facilities, then they will not have a team there that is participating in that particular sports code. But what then we do is to choose these 2 sports codes that we know that everybody is participating on, and we will have a competition. After the ward level, we would move to what we call inter-ward, where the wards in that particular district are competing with each other. In that level, then we include other codes as well, because we will find that other wards will have facilities, and it also depends, because we would ask them to submit to us and tell us how many teams do they have before they even enter for that competition, because we don't want to waste time and have 2 teams competing with each other. So we always want to do entry by codes, make sure that they will send to us that we have 4 teams that will be competing with each other. Then at least we are comfortable to say, hey, we can have this competition. So after that level, we then move to what we call grand finale. Grand finale is then where all these districts are now competing with each other. So then what happens there is that whoever wins there is our main targets. We call them our main targets because those are the ones that are going to represent us for Salga Games. So we've been doing this for I think forever. Yeah, but we are now trying to make sure that we start early, because what we would do normally is to do this, and by October we have our grand finale, and we only have 1 month for trainings. Then as much as we are winning, but we think if we can start early, like start by April or May, by the time October comes, we are relaxed, we are sure that every gap that needs to be filled is done, we are ready to compete.
That's interesting, Bongiwe. So how do teams from various wards get in touch with the unit, especially for formation of teams or those who wish to participate in coaching clinics?
Okay, with sports, we have us as a department, but we can't just work alone. With sports, you have to work with federations. So we have eThekwini Sports Confed, we have district structures, and then we have ward structures. So we have all those people. And then we have what I have called before, a person, a senior sports officer or a sports officer who's responsible for that area. So there's no way that you can't get hold of anybody from everybody that I've just mentioned. So, but the first point of contact will be your ward committee structure that is responsible for sports. And then maybe if you don't get joy, or maybe if you feel you want to speak to the sports officer, they are there. They're always there. They they have meetings with them and all of that. And then if you have a particular program that you want us to assist on, and you feel it's something that we also need to be part of, you send your concepts, you speak to our sports officer, then we engage with the federations, eThekwini Sports Confed, because we always want to include them because they are our main stakeholder. So then we assist with whatever. Normally they would ask for medals. It depends on what particular program they want or tournament they want to have. So we always try and assist. If they want to form a team, we are there also to guide and assist. Yes. They need equipment, they need whatever. We are always there.
Would you like to add anything else?
Maybe to add, we have a number of programs that are coming. Number of programs. We're busy. We are very busy. We are very busy. But not just being busy. Our programs have a very big impact in our communities. That's what I've noticed. And what we are trying to do now is, I've just mentioned that we have 16 sports codes that we are participating on and that we are competing on. It's not just a matter of participating and developing and playing. We are participating in terms of competitions as well. And I just want to mention few. The reason why I'm mentioning these few is because it was normally played by a particular demographic group. Yes. So now we are saying, hey, we have golf. We are doing development and we have 200 kids now under our development that are playing golf. We have cricket. We are participating on cricket. Those particular codes, we are targeting them because we are trying to bridge a gap so that people will not say, no, I'm not going to be participating in table tennis because it's for, certain people. Yeah. No, we have table tennis. If you are from Mumbumbulu and you are from Ngonyameni and you want to participate in table tennis, yeah, you're welcome to participate in table tennis. You want to participate in golf? Yeah, we do have someone who can assist you. And we have partnered with federations that are assisting us to ensure that we achieve what we want to achieve as sports department.
Thank you very much for your time, Bongiwe.
Thank you.
That was Bongiwe Majola, Acting Deputy Head, Sports Development and Recreation in eThekwini Municipality. My name is Zimbili Mazibuko, your host, and for myself and the entire team, it's goodbye. Let's meet next time. Don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe.